Hey there, and welcome. I'm Anna Hartman, and this is Unreal Results, a podcast where I help you get better outcomes and gain the confidence that you can help anyone, even the most complex cases. Join me as I teach about the influence of the visceral organs and the nervous system on movement, pain, and injuries, all while shifting the paradigm of what whole body assessment and treatment really looks like. I'm glad you're here. Let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Unreal Results podcast. I am just locked in with guest episodes right now, which I actually love because these guests are special guests in that they are alumni of the LTAP Level 1 course. And people have told me since I've been doing episodes like this around the launches, other practitioners, they're like, I really like hearing from other people. And I'm like, oh, good, because I do too. I love hearing how everybody utilizes the LTAP and the principles they learn from the LTAP into the various types of practices out there. And so, yeah, I love to share. And actually, this guest is coming to you from the future. So Storm is a physio in New Zealand. And so she's, coming to us from the future. And I'm very grateful to have her on here. So without further ado, welcome. And I'll let her tell you all about who she is and what she does.
Hi, thank you for having me, Anna. I'm really excited. So I'm Storm, and I've been a physio since 2002.
Nice.
I work with humans and not pieces of anatomy, and so I try and treat the whole human. And up until I met Anna, I thought I was doing that. I asked people, who are you? Tell me who you are. And I try and find out who my human is. And then I try and find out what their problem is afterwards. And then I find out that tells me the gap that I have to bridge. And that tells me our goals. And I work in a rural community near Gisborne, which is on the east coast of New Zealand, but of the North Island. And it's actually a province is called the East Coast.
Mm.
And it's pretty rural. And it's really different in terms of the people we see are rural and remote. I see clients online and in person, and it's generally people who have got musculoskeletal injuries.
Mm-hmm.
My degrees are, I have a Bachelor of Health Science in Physiotherapy and a postgraduate diploma in musculoskeletal physiotherapy, and I was taught by some amazing people. So I feel like I'm able to provide people with some really great treatment, but I also don't like blowing my own horn. So that's me. My husband and I have a farm, and we have 4 children, and they're pretty active in sports as well.
Yes. I love that. You're like, I don't want to do my own home. I've heard that you were good from other people I know in New Zealand too. So
Thank you.
Secret, Storm. You are very good at what you do. And then also, as I've gotten to know you through all of the courses and like when you share patients stuff and just, you do such a great job of like figuring out who your whole human is in front of you. And I just think that is such a gift, especially to the people of your community who need someone looking after them. And so I think that is very special. So,
Thank you.
I just love it. So one of the things I always ask a lot of the alumni that come on here is, well, like you said, you thought you worked with the whole human, and then you started hearing me talking about, and you thought like, oh, maybe there are parts of this whole human that I haven't appreciated in my assessment. And so I'm sure that was one of the things that drew you to the course. Was there any other sort of unwanted experience you were having or problem that you were having that you were hoping to like solve by learning the LTAP as well? Or was that pretty much it?
So what happened is I took a hiatus a few years ago when I had 4 children, 5 and under. It was pretty
That's intense.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was very intense.
It was very intense, and I didn't feel like I could do any of my jobs very well if I was doing physiotherapy. So I took a break.
Yeah.
And then I came back to physiotherapy, and I feel like my empathy was way better. I feel like I understood the human in front of me was more important than the diagnosis in front of me. And I started treating people, like I say, as a whole person. So I'd ask about their family and where they live and what they do. And I'd ask about their sleep and their diet. And I'd find out about their mindset and connection. And I'd ask about their hydration. So I'd kind of get a really good picture. And then when I came back and I was back and I felt like I was doing a really good job, and I felt really confident with most of my diagnoses. And I've always told a client that if I can't change them in 3 sessions, then that's not for me. That's been how I've worked right from the start. If anyone isn't changing, then I can't change them. So they need to be somewhere else. And it's not that I can always help a client. And that's now as well, since that is I can't always fix them, but I can always help them by being able to listen and by being able to say, hey, look, it's not for me, but I'm going to make sure that you're not left in this great big hole of, I don't know what to do, therefore no one can do anything, because I'm not that arrogant. So last year, I was doing some training. I had a student with me. We had lots of spare time. The LTAP course came up, and I thought, wow, I really just want to see what this looks like. It was, the missing link came up. I wanted to see what it looked like. And I had my student with me. And so we did this week-long intensive together.
Oh, cool.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
And in doing that, learning the LTAP one, I was able to make some significant changes in a shorter time period than I would have previously with my clients. So one in particular, it was a lady, she came to me, she's got multiple health issues, autoimmune, whole shebang. And her right shoulder was incredibly stiff. She just couldn't lift it. It was painful. And we were making some changes, but it was slow. And I did feel like I had the right diagnosis. It was really slow. And she came to me during the missing link. I did the first test and I was like, hey, look, do you mind if we give this a go? It's a bit different, but it's not like we've got anything to lose, and it's only going to take a couple of minutes. So we did LTAP 1. I found that there was some tension in her central nervous system or viscera, because that's where we got to, and that's all I knew. We tried the central nervous system reset, and her arm moved. I sent her home with this as homework because it just kind of kept coming back.
Yeah.
And so she would go to the pool and she'd be like, I can't get my togs on. So she'd get her togs on because her arm was stiff. And she'd sit in the pool changing rooms and she'd do the reset. And then she'd be able to lift her arm up and go swimming.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
It was really cool. And this was not the only one, but it was a really clear change. And that meant that the strength work and the mobility work started to stick. And where it was this kind of recalcitrant, grumbling shoulder, it became a less recalcitrant, grumbling shoulder. It still took quite a bit of time to unpick it. Now she's back and she's normal. If she has a autoimmune flare, she can use that central nervous system reset to just pop that right out. And so it's part of her home program.
Yeah.
And so at that time, we had no money. I have 4 kids in a farm, so I make money. And I was like, Anna, this course is 100% for me. But it's in, like, the New Zealand dollar is hideous.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just can't right now. So I saved money. And I knew that the first day that I had money and that course came up and they matched, that I would purchase. Because that result for that one lady, I was able to get that for another client and another client and another client. And I already had good results. And I already knew when a client wasn't for me. But in this situation, I was able to just kind of accelerate people beyond what I knew.
Yes. I love this. I do remember, I remember when you took the missing link, and I remember getting messages from you like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like, I'm seeing such great results and like so phenomenal. And so, yeah, I was not, and you told me, you're like, hey, I can't afford this course now, but by the next time I'm going to make sure I'm in it. And like, even like halfway, I think between that and the next one, I got another message from you, and you're like, when it's coming, I'm in, like, count me in.
Yeah.
And you joined, and yeah. And then now you have all of the tests.
Now I have all of the tests.
Yes. And so, like, how are the results now? And like, and this is, well, and we kind of talked about it before I pressed record, but one of the reasons I wanted to have Storm on to talk too is because she's in New Zealand, she hasn't been able to come to an in-person course, which I'm sure would have been her preference, as
Oh,
in
100%.
as it is a lot of people's preference, right? And we're working on creating a course in New Zealand, hopefully in 2026, for the rest of the people there, and for Storm to come into an in-person class. But until I get there, I just was like, oh, I love, actually, even people in the United States that could come to in-person courses, some of them prefer the online setting. It's easier and it's cheaper because you don't have to pay for airfare and hotel and all that stuff. So it's like, I appreciate that for everyone. And it's also like one of the reasons why I will never not offer an online version, because I don't want to, just like I don't want healthcare to have a huge financial obstacle to overcome in order to get good care for people. Like, I also don't want education to have a huge financial obstacle to overcome to get good education for people. So I'll always do it. But that's, I wanted people to hear from you of how the learning experience in the online course was, and what was helpful, what was difficult, and then also like the results you're getting from it. You already spoke to the results you got from just the missing link 1 week course. So yeah, share about this.
Okay, so I found the online really helpful because I'm incredibly busy. I, along with all of the other things I do, I'm working with patients nearly full time.
Yeah. And a mom and the farm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And always baby animals. I don't know how it happens, but so there's always something to feed. So I found the online helpful because when I did get a block of time, I could sit down and listen to it. Also of note is that I take on information really quickly, and partly I have a fast brain, and partly I have no time. So it's something I've developed as well. And I would listen to the information at double speed, and then I'd slow down when I needed to review. And I found that really helpful because of my time constraints. And I don't have it here, but I printed off the books or all of the slides beforehand and bound them. And I printed off the previous class as well and read them. And then I printed off the class as I got it, and then wrote my notes on that as I went through. So that's just how I learn. So I found the online really, really helpful because of my time constraints and because of how I learn. I found that great, and it gave me time to get through it. But there was also a time limit in terms of getting it done because I wanted to keep up.
Yes.
So I found that part really helpful. I feel like I'm really lucky as well. In my postgraduate study with musculoskeletal physiotherapy, I did a lot of hands-on learning in terms of mobilizations, manipulations. My surface anatomy was good.
Yes.
And And I was trained by some of the very best manipulative therapists in the world. And so I feel like my feel is quite good. And I feel like that put me in a really great position when we did this online course, because I didn't have to learn what, say, the sacral tests should feel like, because I'd been doing them since 2000. And 2000.
Yeah, you already knew them. You just needed to add them in with the breath hold and see how things changed.
Yeah, it needed more direction for the specific tests, but I didn't need to learn all of that. And I know what a body's supposed to feel like. I know what all these tests are supposed to feel like. I just didn't know what that meant with the additions that we created. Or you created and I used. Yeah. So I feel like I was in a really good position for that, and I don't know that that would be the same for a clinician with less hands-on time. But in saying that, I also use this with my online clients and still get the same astounding results. So yes, my hands-on is helpful, but having the ability to eyeball this as well is helpful. I think I've lost my track, Anna, and I think you might need to just direct me further.
We were talking about how the online learning, what benefited you was that you already were really strong with palpation skills and like feeling skills. So then when you just added in the little changes from the how to interpret the things, like that's where the learning was for you.
Yeah. And so we got the hands-on stuff. It was going amazing because my hands-on skills were good. But I can then transfer that over to my online patients. And I was getting the same results using just my eyeballs, not even touching, with these patients. And patients and the great thing about this test with series is that in general, you can say, hey, look, I think this is, for me, I'm pretty sure this is what we need to, this is where I'm being directed. This is what I think is probably going on. Should we see if this changes it? And then I always do a test, retest. I mean, that to me is basics. You always test, retest, see if your treatment's working.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not going to get onto that, Anna.
Yeah, I'm like, it's basics to me too, but yet you and I both know it is not.
It is not. And so here's how I work. Is either in person or online, I will do LTAP 1. And then if it's directed, I'll go 2, 3, 4, or 5 to wherever I need to go. Then I will do the musculoskeletal, or what you call an orthopedic assessment. And I will get to the end of that in terms of my time constraints, picking out the right tests, whatnot. And generally, I try and find something that is changeable, and I use that as my test retest. And I'll say, hey, look, so we've found that you've, say, got, I don't know, a stiff neck or a whatever. And I will then say, so it's sore when you turn or sore when you do this. Let's try and see, because your body's directing me to, say, I don't know, the liver or the whatever. Let's just try a very quick test here. I'm pretty sure that that's going to change you. It doesn't always, but either way, it's not going to do any harm.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to make you feel better. We'll do this one thing, and we do it. They generally take a minute, these treatments. They're not massive.
Yeah.
And so I'll do the treatment and then say, let's just retest your orthopedic test. So and generally the client will go, what?
Like, how did you do that?
Are you a witch or a wizard? I'm like, no, it's science, but it doesn't feel like science.
Yeah. Same. I love that.
And
everybody's go-to. That is everyone's go-to. Are you a witch? No.
Yeah. Yes, actually, but not in that way. Yeah. My kid called me a swamp witch once, and so I need that on a T-shirt.
Yes.
But not in terms of like witchy skills. Just you know. And so I can do this online. I can show my clients most of the moves, and if it's a trickier move, I can find some alternative. Again, I've been doing this long enough. I can kind of find a way
you have
around.
some tools to pick from.
Yeah. So I've got a big toolkit. And I am getting these same results with people again and again and again. And it's not a mistake. And it's not like the occasional change. And it's not like even sometimes you're like, oh, it's the neck, so you can change something in the head. No, I've changed somebody's Achilles strength.
Yes.
By doing an oculomotor nerve.
Yes. Yes.
Like it blows me away, it blows them away.
Yeah.
And then how I describe it, and because I'm very rural, there's two ways that I describe it. One is like when you've got to wash your horse and it's filthy, you don't start by just like scrubbing where it's muddy. You just hose that thing off. Or the same if you've got a muddy vehicle or a muddy side by side. You just kind of hose and just get as much crap off as you can.
Yeah.
And then you can see what the problem is or where the horse actually needs to be washed or whether. And so I tell my clients this, it's kind of like washing off all of the other bits. And then we can find the actual problem and treat the actual problem.
Yes. And
we've got some big levers to pull then because we know exactly where it is.
I love that analogy. That is such a good analogy. Yes, that's when I talk about like the laundry list of orthopedic dysfunctions. And then you use the LTAP to know exactly where to start, and it just knocks off like half of them. And then it's like narrows your list down, and pretty soon you're left with like one little joint mob you need to do in one little joint, and then you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had this
hosing down the horse. I love it.
Hosing down the horse. And so I had this old farmer. He's in his 60s and his back has been sore for over 20 years. He was having trouble. He had weakness in his thighs when he walked uphill. He had trouble climbing over fences, sitting on his quad and rolling over in bed at night. Mm. We did the LTAP. We did the orthopedic tests. His back was hideously cranky. Like it was a grumpy back. It didn't like moving. Very stiff. A lot of referred pain down the legs, a bit of weakness. His hip joint was incredibly stiff. Again, he's been riding horses for forever, so no hip. Yeah, hip flexion was about 80 degrees. So no wonder he couldn't sit on the bike. Right. And internal rotation was non-existent.
Yeah. Always like internal rotation was external rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and flexion came straight out into external rotation. Oh, like it almost did it. It was so stuck. And I was like, look, I just want to do this. And I think I am having to go back in my poor old brain. It's not got enough pockets. I'm pretty sure it was the ascending colon. And we just did a stretch. A bit of a skin mob over the top, a stretch. It was 1 minute. His hip flexion went to 120 degrees.
What?
It was a locked hip that I was like, oh, I think we need to replace this.
Yeah.
His hip flexion increased. Then then it went to a central nervous system and we gave him some of that. He's like, well, what's this? And
I was like, my eyes.
I was like, just do it. And he was like, oh, all right. Anyway, he did it. And then by the end of the session, his side bend was less cranky. I mean, we're not magicians here. Like it was better.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did something similar for the next 3 sessions. He was like, I don't need to see you anymore. I can walk up the hill, but my legs are fine. My back doesn't hurt. But I have got a sore elbow. I was like, oh, for God's
sake. Love that. Hey, we'll take an elbow.
I was like, all right, what is it? And he told me all the things that hurt. And I was like, oh, really? You don't need that. How about and I did the test and it was, again, it was in his neck and it was neural tension in his neck. And I took the neural tension out of his neck. We did some skin lifts. Mm-hmm. And we did skin lifts all the way down.
Yeah.
His elbow pain went away. He was like, I don't need to see you again, do I?
You're like, you're going to have to make up another thing that hurts. Yeah. I love that.
I was like, can you just do the strength stuff? Can we just do one more to make sure it stays away?
Yeah.
And he came back, he's like, I don't know what I'm here for.
He's like, I'm here because I trust you now. And you told me to come back.
Yeah. He's like, I had to come to town for this. I was like, I know. But you're just lucky you got me. So go away and come back if you need me.
Exactly. I love that. Man, and like thinking about how his body was, like, had he gone to like a traditional rehab experience, like, they would have been like cranking on him and forcing things and hurting him. And
he'd been doing that.
Yeah.
And it made no change. He'd been trying all sorts of things for years, and he'd go to the chiropractor and it'd feel good until he got to the roundabout.
Yeah. That's crazy. Oh, I love that. I love that story.
Thanks. So do I. It is so funny because he's not someone who I'd normally go, hey, look, I want to try this new thing with.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so cool. Did you feel like, when you were describing too, using it with your virtual clients, was that experience too almost even like oh wow, where you treat, it was like almost maybe validating for you that it is where you treat that matters, versus like I could imagine someone like you with such good manual therapy skills feels like sometimes not getting results virtual is because you can't touch people.
Yes.
And so it proved to you in a way of like, oh, damn, I'm getting as good as results virtually as I am in person. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'd been getting really good results virtually previously. And again, this just really time compressed and took away all of that grumbling, extraneous stuff.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Mm.
This is so cool. I'm like, from here on out, the podcast will just be interviewing how people use it. I just love it. It's like so cool to hear, because I always tell people, I'm like, I promise you, my patients are not as exciting as you think they are. They're really boring. It's like, and they're professional athletes. They change fast and like they complain about the same things over and over again. And like, it's boring, but you get the fun people.
Oh, yeah.
The interesting.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So cool. I guess, we could keep talking forever, but like, just so we say, like, it kind of, I always ask like people like the most impactful parts of the learning the LTAP. Like, what do you think? It's kind of like hard because it's like, well, all together it's just like doing it, like getting the results, like knowing where to start. Is there anything else that was like, besides learning the assessment itself, like a real impactful piece of the course that was like, oh, that was a big light bulb or like a helpful thing that you can think of?
No, so I've actually found the missing link probably the biggest light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Because I could work out whether it was central nervous system or viscera or the lower limb.
Yeah.
And that was enough to get started.
Yeah.
So that was the big part for me, is that's when I realized more about the central nervous system and the viscera and how they could impact it. And there's really easy ways to change that too, even if you don't have all those really specific details.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's that broad brushstroke stuff of just like, pretty much it's going to be this.
Yeah.
So I found that to be quite helpful and probably the most helpful. Mm-hmm. And then the next part of it was becoming more and more specific. So it's a better hose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Washing more of those symptoms away to become more and more specific. Also more helpful for the patient, because I do give them, I know it's meant to stick, but actually I give them this as homework and it is really helpful. Yeah. So I don't know quite where that sits in with what, like, I know that it's kind of like we're meant to do it and it settles it, but I find my clients really like this as homework.
Yeah. No, I think it's good to do homework too.
Yes.
And then just to empower them to be like, yeah, if it comes back between now and when you see me again, try this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so being really specific and knowing exactly where to point them has been really helpful. Mm-hmm. So yes, all of it.
Yeah.
But for me, the biggest light bulb was actually I can change all of this really quickly.
Yeah. I love it.
Mm.
It's funny. Well, not funny. I mean, I'm not surprised you say that about the missing link too. Just the first test of the LTAP is because, I mean, that's what I tell so many people. I'm like, literally, if that's all you do, like, it's going to get you kind of crazy results even on its own.
So I want to tell you another story. I had a client with this neck pain, really, really stiff, and turning to the right, it's just not going away. Headache, awful. And LTAP directed me to the left lower limb, and I was like, she was like, I was like, no. Yeah. I was like, can we just try it? It's like 10 talar tilts. Yeah. Can we just try it? And I'm happy to put my hand up and go, that was not it.
Yeah, for sure.
But can we just try it? Because it's 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. Neck better, headache gone, didn't come back.
Crazy. And also not surprised. Yeah.
Yeah.
The can we just try it thing? I tell my athletes that all the time when they think like, what, this is not going to work. And I'm like, could you, it reminds me, I have this very distinct memory of my mom and me and my sister at the local department store when we're like grade school age. And, the department store, it was called Dailies. It was just in this old Victorian building. It was like a classic 80s department store. And she would pull out all these clothes for us back to school shopping. And I would be like, ugh, I don't like those. Like, I don't want to wear that. And she would say, Anna, humor me. Just humor me and try it. And then, more than half the time when I would then humor her and try it on, I mean, she was right. It did look good. It did fit me well. Like it was like, we would buy it. And so that is exactly when it's like, seems so crazy that you're like, how is a lateral ankle tilt going to change such extreme headache and cervical range of motion? And then you're just like, well, humor me and let's see. And because at the end of the day, it doesn't take very long. Like it takes like less than 30 seconds. And it has potential for being like so powerful.
Yeah, and I sometimes will say, it's not a tattoo on your forehead. Come on.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, exactly. It's not a tattoo on your forehead. Like come on.
Yeah, and most of my clients
can do hard things.
We can do hard things. And most of my clients, a lot of my clients are really rural, really just focused on, it's like they'll come in and I'll be like, it's sore here, can you fix it? And I'll be like, okay, cool. But can we just look at all of you?
Yeah.
Can we just step back? Because this is how I work.
Yeah. That shoulder is attached to something.
Yeah, it's all, and I tell people it's all in the same container.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, some people I do think, do you know what? I'm just not going to try that with you today. Yeah. We've got you here. We're really lucky that you've attended your appointment. We're going to just go with what you're kind of expecting.
Yep.
But I would use it in more than 95% of my clients.
Yeah. I love that. Yep. Yeah. Read the room. Sometimes you just, yeah. Sometimes you're just glad that they showed up, and that is a win for everyone today. We'll cross the other bridge on the next one.
Yeah. And sometimes I get the buy-in. I'm like, hey, can we just do this quick test?
Yeah.
And so with backs, it's really great because it feels like a back test anyway.
Yes, it makes sense.
And so we don't have to address it. But if it's like an ankle or a wrist, they're like, what?
Yeah. Why are you touching there? My wrist.
Why? Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah. So I say something like, I'm just checking just to see how everything's working together and how it changes when you hold your breath, and we add some safety in there. Mm-hmm. And it's a really nice way to just introduce it.
I love that. What would you say to other people that are like on the fence maybe about taking the course? Specifically the online course, I guess, too, since that is what your experience has been. Like, what would you tell them?
I would say that a really good way to see what the course is like is to try the missing link. Is that what you're still calling it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would try the missing link.
Yeah.
But I would actually do the missing link. I would set aside some time. I would make sure I did the work.
Do it. Don't just sign up for it. Do it. Show up.
Do it. And I would make sure I practiced that test. I would practice everything Anna suggested, and I would get it done during that week.
Yeah.
Because that way you will see, and you need to have some clients to practice on. You can't do this in a vacuum. And that can be family, because you can check on them and just go, have you got any aches and pains? And you can see if there's anything there. There's people around. Everyone's sore.
Yeah.
So I would do the tests. And the test. I would do the work, and I would gain an understanding, and I would ask questions in the Facebook group so that I really got a grasp of the missing link.
Yeah.
And then you will see if that's for you or not for you.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, that's what it was like. It was like, it's definitely for me. I need to find the funding for that.
Yeah.
And now I need to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been the value it's added to my clients is 100% worth it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. Any, I mean, you're right. Yes. Sign up and actually do the course. Step 1.
And then you'll know.
Yeah.
Then you'll know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a tester. It's a free tester.
Yeah.
And if it works for you, then pay.
Yeah, I feel like too, it's also a good tester of like, one, not only just experiencing this lens of view and experiencing the LTAP, but also experiencing, is online learning right for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go through the missing link and you're like, I love the information and I love the challenge of the paradigm, but I don't love online learning. And then it's like, come to an in-person course, like figure out how you get to an in-person course. If it is feasible, given like, geographical limitations or financial constraints, but it's like, because then you have to take that into consideration too. Like I actually really don't love online learning so much, but sometimes the constraints make it that it's like, well, my only option. So if it's my only option, I'm all in. And
I live in Gisborne. It's
a
4-hour drive anywhere.
Yeah.
And so doing a course in person is actually not really feasible.
Yeah,
I love them.
Not so feasible. Yeah.
Not so easy to do.
Yeah. So I mean, and with that said too, and it sounds like you did a good job of it. I mean, you said your schedule was so busy, but you still like carved out the time during the missing link, but then during the LTAP too, to like catch the recordings. And the recordings worked better for you. 1, probably because of the time difference, but then 2, because the type of learning you supported and the schedule you had, you were able to put it on 2 times and like digest it faster. Which I think that's one of my favorite pieces of online experiences too, is like, I mean, it's like a podcast. I don't listen to any podcast at 1x. I'm like, what? It feels like people talk so slow. So I'm like, yes, 1.5x minimum. So, and on the flip side, there's people on the flip side that feels like 1x is too slow. And so then they're like, slow it down. And like, how cool that technology allows us to do that. And then also we can pause it and rewind it and then watch it again. And then you have lifetime access. And like with the online LTAP, like we're getting ready for the next cohort. And it's like, you can come to the, you can come to live calls, or you'll have a whole slew of 7 more lectures about the thing that, and you've learned from me long enough that I never say the same thing on like any presentation. And so it's like you can just continue to like deepen your anatomy knowledge and deepen your like application of the principles and things like that. So there are some major benefits to the online learning too, as much as there's also limitations. So I love that.
I concur.
Well,
I mean, the group is the other thing that I found really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I was a little bit stuck, or sometimes I was a little bit stuck, but sometimes I was like, hey, look at this really cool thing I've found. Or I got up to here and I'm stuck with this bit.
Yeah.
And the group would come in and go, hey, look, this is what I'm seeing. Or have you tried this? Or it became almost like a case conference.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we kept this all
Confidential.
anonymous and confidential, but
Mm-hmm.
it was really helpful when even though I still felt confident, it was nice to check my work.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Well, this has been a wonderful talk. Do you feel like is there anything else that you want the Unreal Results podcast listeners to know about?
Honestly, I think if I kept talking, we'd be here for another 2 or 3 hours.
I know.
And it would be nice to make this like quite concise for people.
Yes, I agree. Well, if they do want to keep talking to you, how can we find you on the interwebs?
So the best place to find me is on Instagram. So I'm Storm LBR, that farming physio.
Perfect.
And
we'll link it in the show notes, so you don't have to memorize it.
Yeah. Perfect. And I'm also on Facebook. But you just follow me there. Yeah. And I would love to see anyone who's got any questions. I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah.
If we can find a way to make that work, Anna, I can answer those questions. Absolutely. We can make that. Maybe anonymize those and then make them public.
Yeah.
So I can help with if anyone's got any questions, because I do work very differently in terms of my geographical stuff, my online stuff, and also just seeing people of a different group of people rather than specifically athletes.
Yep. No, I love it. Yeah, absolutely. So people definitely connect with her, and actually, too, Storm, I can always the last launch, I made available slots for people who are interested to have like 15-minute calls with past participants. So if that's something that you're interested in, then I might hit you up on that too. So people can do that, kind of talk to you directly. But yeah, it's been great. I hope to see you coming to Australia for sure in January. And we're going to try to make a New Zealand thing work. And whether or not I teach in Gisborne, I want to, like, now that you've sent me pictures and stuff, I'm like, I kind of just have to go there just because it looks freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
it's a bit different than other areas. It's very, very isolated.
Yeah.
And we often get cut off both ways. We can't get out of the district because of our roads. So it's a different area. It's beautiful, but kind of wild and rough.
Yeah.
Not at all like you imagine. Not like the South Island. It's kind of brutal farming, wild bush, beautiful coastlines.
Yeah,
we would love to have you come and visit. We'll definitely go and see those stingrays.
Yeah,
and take you snorkeling at our marine reserve.
Yes, I definitely want to do that. So I was talking to Mickey about finding a spot to do a course in Auckland. A little bit more better for travel.
Way better.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, if I was trying to put the Australia course and the New Zealand course together, obviously because the flight, but then I was like, you know what? I've literally never been to either country before. And so I'm like, that's doing a disservice to both countries to try to fit them all in, a 2-week trip. And so I'm like, no, I'm just going to separate the times of year. And, I'm still going to go in the nice weather because I don't like crappy weather. But
don't come.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, but, I can do Australia at the beginning of the year, maybe New Zealand towards the end of the year. And, then like have a proper visit because, now I want to visit you. I want to see Mickey. I've got Phillip Beach down in Wellington that I need to visit too. So it's like,
yeah. There's some really cool places we can go.
And I've got wine to drink in New Zealand. And
Gisborne has some very good wine.
I've got ocean things to see. Like there's a lot to do, and same with Australia. So I definitely need to go. And I can only imagine that once I do that flight once, I'll be like, oh, well, that wasn't too bad. I can do that again. So
I hope so.
I mean, I spend so much time on a plane. You would think one wouldn't care, but I still am like, oh, it's so far away. Which is like, I mean, I don't know if Mickey listens to my podcast, but I'm like, shout out Mickey, because she comes to every, we have business masterminds every, like, at least 2 times a year, if not 3 times a year. And she's at every one. I'm like, you just hop on a plane from New Zealand like it's nothing.
And she doesn't even treat it like it's not even a holiday. She's out there and she's working, and she just keeps everything going. She's amazing.
She is amazing. So I'm just like, wow, if Mickey can do it. And she never seems like, when she comes, like, I know she comes in early enough that she deals with the jet lag, but I'm like, she never seems to be like tired from the jet lag. And I'm like, you just fly to California, to Nashville, all the places we're at, and like just acts like a normal human. So, which actually I'm like, maybe she doesn't. Maybe when I visit her in New Zealand, maybe I'll see a totally different side of her.
Oh, the mind boggles.
Yes, exactly. So, all right. Well, I've taken enough of your time. I really appreciate you being here. Hopefully the whole video recording turns out good for us. If not, we'll do it again.
We can do this again. This is easy and fun.
Exactly. So, yeah, thank you so much. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Anna. It's been really cool.
Yeah, no problem.